as the culmination of a 4-year campaign from Warren and Colin and Jenny and Rupert. The Coalition is announcing that we will implement a national dugong and turtle protection plan if elected. It's a $5 million plan, but more importantly still, it's about cracking down, tough laws, enforcement and assistance. So there are really two parts. The first is the $5 million. That comprises $2 million for an enforcement team from within the Indigenous Ranger community. It's $2 million for an Australian Crime Commission investigation and, where possible, enforcement and prosecution of illegal turtle and dugong take, illegal turtle and dugong poaching, illegal turtle and dugong meat transportation. This is a serious step to end forever the taking, the poaching and the transportation of turtle and dugong meat for illegal purposes. And then it's $1 million for practical local action in terms of $700,000 to assist with ghost netting and removing ghost nets from the environment, and $300,000 for the Cairns Sea Turtle and Fitzroy Island Sea Turtle Rehabilitation Hospitals. I think that's a wonderful local outcome, and it's due to the work of Jenny and Warren. With regards to the law, we will triple the penalties under the Federal Environment Act for illegal poaching and transportation of turtle and dugong meat. That's 6 years in jail, $510,000 penalties. This is a serious attempt to stamp out a blight on our nation's environmental management. There has been a blind eye to this under the federal ALP. Well, that stops today. And if we are elected, we will take steps immediately and we will change those laws within the first 6 months. We'll also put in place a national turtle and dugong protection and recovery plan, and we will also work with Indigenous communities to have a 2-year moratorium within 6 months on the taking of turtle and dugong meat around the country. But we will work with the community on that.
Yeah, when we've seen horrible images like around Green Island where animals that are effectively totally comfortable with humans are then basically ripped out of the water and slaughtered in front of visitors. This sort of activity has got to stop. Part of this program is working towards making sure that we actually exclude these green areas to ensure that no longer happens. I think that's a very, very important component.
So would you see that initial 2-year moratorium perhaps being extended forever?
Well, it's an initial one, but we want to work with the communities and we want to obviously work towards a permanent ban.
You will find, and the other thing is, the only way you're going to know what the numbers are, that whether or not it's sustainable, is by able to do them, to measure this and see what they are. And there may well be areas where there is a sustainable amount that can be done for specific traditional purposes, but that's something that we work with those communities. But at the end of the day, if you're going to be talking about appropriate, sustainable management, you actually got to know what you're actually working with.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Warren and Greg Hunt for their announcement today. It's something that Bob Irwin and I and Rupert have been hard at for 4 years. Bob couldn't be with us today. He's away at the moment. I spoke to him this morning. He welcomes the announcement. I had a private briefing with Greg. As you know, we changed tack about 6 months ago and I formed this animal coalition which consists of 34 of the largest wildlife groups in Australia. I am the spokesman for them. We did ask for a total ban on these animals to be hunted, any animal that's endangered or vulnerable. While it's not that policy announced today, we welcome this policy because we believe it'll go hand in hand with the legal argument that we're going to run with BORP, the Barristers Animal Welfare Panel, and we think that with Greg in Parliament, we hope the coalition is successful, that we'll have an Environment Minister who will listen fairly to the fair argument that no one should be hunting endangered or vulnerable animals. But we believe today this is a major, major step. And the Crime Misconduct Commission, when they hear the evidence that we have gathered over the last 4 years, we hope that a lot of people will stop carting these majestic animals around in eskies around Australia. And I'd like to thank them today, and I call on the Greens to support that call for a crime commission into the turtle and dugong transportation. If they're a fair income party for the environment, this should be a no-brainer. So I'm really, really happy here today.
Colin, how rampant is the problem based on your investigations?
Most of my investigations from the Kimberleys, Clontarf, Broome, the Gulf of Carpentaria, Darwin, the Torres Straits, all up and down the east coast of Australia, as far down as Brisbane, 30 k's from the Brisbane city centre. They're transporting, moving turtle and dugong meat down into Victoria, New South Wales for Indigenous diplomats and also other people who just enjoy the taste of it. It's eaten as family barbecues. We hope people use their brains. No one should be hunting these majestic species. In India last week, they announced there's only 250 of these animals left. They've formed a special committee to save these animals, and we hope that Australia, with our rampant raves about Japan and their whales, sees the logic in us not killing our own animals that are endangered and vulnerable. So, thanks very much. We're very, very happy people today. And Rupert, my undercover guy, I thank him from the bottom of my heart. Without him going up there last year and getting that footage, we may not have even had this announcement today. It's brought to everybody's mind. Nobody mentions the word dugong without mentioning the word turtle there in Australia. And we hope that the law is effectively changed in the foreseeable future.
Great.
Thanks, Bob. Just hold that sign up to your side there.
Yeah, mate.
Do you want to get in there too, Rick?
Sure. Jenny, that's the current list. Oh, sorry.